of the lane. So the objective is gonna be, respectably into the hands of respect. I mean, that was a bad wordplay, but yeah.
It's absolutely fine. But Zevo, this time actually the Kadita being banned, really unconventional ban, I would say, but I think that was a necessary ban, don't you think?
Yeah,
I,
certainly. I mean, I guess they got traumatized from the fish busting their jungler out. So
Uh-huh.
they, they just want to ban the fish and a tortoise altogether, and a cat or a tiger.
the cat.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the bans are looking very zoo friendly, but yeah.
Zoo friendly, for
Zoo
real.
friendly
Magadan
indeed,
though,
eh?
I feel like they would wanna go for the Lapu Lapu ban maybe to prevent IGN from taking them.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they can either ban it or they can pick it off for themselves, right? I think a ban would be a waste to go for, to just take away that hero because Mirio definitely can play that hero very really well. So they might
Yep.
want to just get it for their side. Armageddon Esports, yes, they can ban it for sure. They have the chance at this point, but there's the Kimi also that will be left open, and the Kimi can be a problem with the poke, with the scaling into the late game. The Kimi definitely makes things harder. It's kind of difficult to mark him without an assassin, and if Josie this time does not get an assassin, it would be pretty difficult for him to actually go for uh, a shutdown onto a Kimi. So they need to be really wary of the fact what they give. And this time the Uranus was also left open, getting banned. So the Lapu Lapu was really open for take for the side of Team IG and Mirio. Do they take it is the question here, Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, just get it, bro. Just get it. Because he's able to play so well under the Lapu Lapu. During those days that he was, on his. I mean, if I said prime, it just means that it's not his prime right now. So I mean, still it's prime, so just get the hero that you're comfortable on, man.
Oh,
Okay, okay, there we go, there we go.
Yeah,
It's
well,
relief breath for me, for us, of course, into the casting decks. Let's go for the Lapu Lapu, man. But still, there's a lot of ways to counter out the Lapu Lapu, and one weird thing that I've realized is that the Tamus, right? Tamus
uh-huh.
has been able to lane so well against the Lapu Lapu. If they go for the Thomas, it's gonna be a debut pick as well as a very weird pick. So, but trust me, man, the Thomas is so good against the Lapu Lapu in the lane. But then again, for them, for Amegadon, they have two heroes that's completely open, and the Gatot Guts are a very comfortable pick for Mr. Fame, the Roma right there. But it's also a comfort uh for Soltak Bull as well. But he loves to go for the playmaking heroes. So maybe the Gatot will be into the room. We'll never know. But the Kimi does give a lot of pressure into the mid lane. So this is a very solid choice coming out from the side of Armageddon.
Yeah, the Kimi does give a pressure into the mid lane, but I do believe it kind of lacks the range a little bit. Yes, it does have the damage, it does have the scaling, but the range a little bit less compared to a lot of other mages like the Farsa, like the Novaria, and even like the Eve to some regard, but still works really well. They have the horse. You were talking about the zoo actually being taken away, but they get one more animal out into the mix out here from the side of Team Hygiene here, Zevo.
well, IGN they do like to play Hylos when they are pushed against a corner. It's kind of like their trump card, and with the Hylos there, right? IGN they would be pretty much comfortable with engaging much more, and
Mhm.
they could, go for early game aggression compared to the last match. But overall, of course, you gotta pick up the Irithel for the Granger. So
Yeah.
definitely a good choice for Armageddon before the Irithel gets banned out, right? But yeah, I'm curious about the junglers though because both the teams did not pick out the jungler yet. And the question still remains, will they still go for assassin or maybe utility kind?
Yeah, I mean, the utility will definitely work. And once again, I believe IGN will be banning out the heroes like they did in the last game, right? So, even if they want, they can go for the utility as well. But do you think the utility would be too much of a double downing out here, Debbie?
I think they could just go for a comfort on respect here, man. Even though the Hayabusa wasn't that pleasant to the first pick, this time around, I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really, really good against the Kimi as well as the Irithel, because you really do not want to give away the Kimi a leeway. You just want to have a
Oh,
dive potential coming through. But of
hey,
course, Aizen's gonna be banning out the Xbox as well as the what is this? The Fredrin? Yeah, the
hey,
Josie
Debbie,
doesn't.
Debbie,
Okay.
Debbie.
Oh,
The fan is open. Actually, I just realized the fan is actually
oh
open for
yeah.
the take. Respect can go
Oh,
for
they
that
can go
hero,
for it.
right?
Fanny
Yeah,
versus Hayabusa? Oh, Josie and the Hayabusa, my boy. What is he cooking?
yeah. That is a good question. But the Fanny actually will it make will
Ah,
it make a show out here? Zeb, what do you think? Should they go for the Fanny out here?
I mean, certainly they can go for a Fanny, but
Oh,
oh.
oh,
okay, Joy.
okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
That that is quite a surprise pick coming from Respect because Joy has been climbing down the ladder quite fast and picking up a Joy. They're kind of going for a gamble here because there's a Hayabusa and you would not want to go for a Joy because he already has his burst, and even if you go for a 1v1, I feel like Hayabusa does excel a bit better. But hey, we got an Arla there. Quite uncommon pick, but still works.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. The R load is again, comparatively, or just if you make a tier list, is kind of at the draw with the in the
Mhm.
place along with the Phobias, so still works really well, and they are kind of like IGN does have the heroes which are really relying on the position, like for the backline, like the
Mm.
Grandeur as well as the Zushin, right? So it's gonna be a really good contest. But hey, both the drafts are actually locked in, and we're soon gonna head into the game. So you guys need to take it away. But a quick prediction: what do you think? Will IGN be able to come back in this game or not?
We'll never know because the travel is looking solid for our Megadon. So I wouldn't want to clean sweep, but still, IZN make sure to do this game because we'll be going to the Land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 already in, and our Megadon with one game onto their hands, and this is gonna be a match point for them. Will IZN be able to get it to the game 3? That's the question.
Actually, very desperate position for Team IGN right now. But aside from having to go to the lower brackets, right, you still want to get an upper hand in the upper brackets by staying in the upper brackets. So definitely, it's kind of a relief and a trouble at the same time for Team IGN because you still get a second chance, but it does mean that you would be using up your second chance, and it won't be good if there's a strong team that would come down to the lower brackets, right? But still, overall, the matchups, right? I don't know. I'm quite not liking the Joy there, but Respect he
Yeah.
might have planned
Yeah, I think I mean I like a Joy 2 months back. This time the
of.
Joy has the basic attack so has been nerfed, the second skill dash has been nerfed, there's a lot of nerf into the uh damage, so it's not gonna be that much of an impact into the early game, especially as it's gonna be needing at least 2 of her items to try to deal out some damage. But Josen though was trying to he popped out the revitalize so early on. But Josie man has been dancing around with the saddles, so no saddles for the Hayabusa as of now, but there's gonna be a setup for the turtle under the early phase. This is gonna be very, very crucial for both of these junglers. They really want the goal lead, but the better setup we'll have to see.
Yep, certainly the sweep though comes in, but overall they are just playing around the turtle, not actually going for it.
Ooh,
Traction falls out there. Salty
Ito?
Claw to get away, but Ito gets taken out as the first blood, and Turtle in the hands of IGN. No, in the hands, yeah, in the hands of IGN right there. But Zozy, as he just got his board with a double, but still a score point in the hands of IGN with a 200 goal lead. Still better than nothing, and compared to the last match, they have been, getting a little bit of advantage out there.
I think this time around, Josie was, little command that we have been making. It was trying to get all the kills, right? But they did lose out onto the turtle. So IGN they found ways to try to take down Ito as well, which is a very very new kind of rotation that teams has been doing this time around. You see your goal liners into the first turtle as well, and this is what they were doing. Ito rotating faster means that he's gonna be trying to attack faster, but then he got took down. He got shut down by the side of Ozzy and with the stuns coming through from Zeus, and that has to be the little but impactful gain coming out from Ozzy. So this is gonna be giving around the creator actually a better time into the lane because a 100 200 goal deficit matters into the early game. So we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a brawly composition into the side of IGN, but we'll never know what's gonna be happening because Jushin big picked on when there is a Hayabusa is like walking on fire.
Mhm.
And of course, you're gonna give getting burned, and that's what Josie has been serving, trying to take down a bit onto the Zeus, and he was able to do much better. But then again, it comes down to all the team fights. But oh, talking about team fights though, mid lane.
Yep, mid lane certainly up back by Ryota. This time he won't be getting the chance to burst down already. But still, they are facing a bit trouble. Final Slash comes in paired with the AOG altogether. Their health is quite low, but Revitalize is there to save them a bit. But no Lantern Flare doing the work. Same with Fame. Ito gets taken down on the bot lane. A cherry on top for the side of Team IGN as of now. And Armageddon, they are forced to lose 3 of their members once again in the hands of IGN.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was a big one for IGN here. They were able to get Ito down again this time around. Mirio onto his comfort able to do so much than he was able to into the first game, and this is gonna be marking a territory for IGN as well. A lot of pressure coming through them, and this is gonna be a really good start. But right now the pressure is definitely into the goal lane side here. They were trying to get the kills. They were trying to get and look for fights, but this time there's no kill pressure into the mid lane. It's more of a poking potential coming out from Ryota here right now. So they have to be a little bit careful than they were. So right now the turtle is gonna be set up again. Look at that.
Yep, definitely this time Turtle in the hands of Armageddon, right? But the thing about it is that Armageddon, they are still going for more engaged despite having a little bit of a disadvantage on the gold. But oh my goodness, the amount of shield and the heals coming in, that is one person down once again, but followed up by Respect, which went too deep, followed up by Saltic Paul. Mega kill for Josie, his redemption arc coming in, showing Respect how a Hayabusa is played. Of course, no offenses to Respect, but yes, a 4-0-1 in the hands of Josie. That guy, he's just trying to prove a point, and I think he's definitely proving his point.
Yeah, that was a good one at that too. But both of the goal laners into the opposite lanes, which is what you do not easily see. But Ryota rotating down onto the bot lane, just trying to clear it out, where you usually see the XP laner do that. But top lane though, there's a lot of damage coming through. Mirio trying to defend his lane solely, but Fame though he was trying to look for something here. But in this kind of tournament, since you do not really want to go for full ganks, you just want to focus onto the objective, and this is exactly what these two teams has been doing. They aren't focusing on trying to get a kill. They are more focusing on trying to get an objective, and if kills comes around, that's actually again. But right now, Respect though.
Respect definitely going for Ryota, but Meteor takes that kill away from his hands. Still better than nothing for the side of Team IGN. They are winning out with the team fight and everything, but Armageddon, they are not backing down as well. Iritel, she has been farming up quite well, and it would be a menace if she does get 2 or 3 of her items all together, right? So they kind of need to watch out for the Iritel as well. But right now, maybe another team fight because the teams, they are positioning themselves near that turtle. But yeah, overall, IGN, they might just take it all together unless they go with the AOG turtle though in the hands of IGN once again. A Lantern Flare to stop Fame from going back in his own team, but backline as well. Meteor with the Lapu Lapu all together. A shutdown from Era the Creator. That is a triple kill altogether this time. And Saltic Paul going for the backlines with the final sweep coming in. He has to get back not a great choice out there in the hands of which in this case, Fluid Deals. What a nice name. It's pretty hard to pronounce, but yes, overall, a good team fight in the favor of Team IGN once again.
Yeah, that was a lot of, position provided, a lot of vision, a lot of zoning potential coming out from Mr. Meteor here onto the Lapu Lapu, standing out to other members and joining them away. And Armageddon couldn't exactly zone into those team fights when you have a big chunky man flaring his sword all over your face. So this is what IGN are playing around with. So right now, Armageddon, what they can do is just try to scale up, just give out the spacing for Ito here. Don't be overly aggressive because he's gonna get the damage anyway. He's gonna be able to get all those kills if it's required to, and they have to have a spacing as well for Josie because he's him onto the Hayabusa is also one of a great choice. They can pick out the Juicing, they can pick out any hero, but look at that 1v1.
The 1v1 will
Oh.
turn to a 2v2 respect. Oh, just escaping by a bit. But yeah, overall, his team does give a good backup, I would say.
Mhm.
And he has not been in any dangerous situation, right? And the only person that needs to be taken out, the marksman, is not quite inside, even for a Hayabusa altogether. He has been escaping it quite well. But oh, 1v1, Josie?
Oh.
He's still planning to maybe dive in though, because the positioning of Armageddon, they are hiding in bushes quite a lot. But unbeknownst to them, they are
Oh.
rather going for Zozi, which is quite slippery to deal with. Another heavy crossbow popped out by Ito.
Oh.
Zozi gets taken out in has and the creator with his signature pick once again. Wind of Nature popped out Ito in the hands of Lapu Lapu this time. Ryota might be the second one to fall down with Saltic Paul, giving the legendary to Aaron, the creator Armageddon. They have to go back empty-handed while Respect goes for the Lord.
That was a good team fight coming in from side of IGN and Armageddon. They were trying to make a little bit of an outplay right there, but it certainly didn't work out because this man did Aaron the Creator onto the Granger has already gotten 8 kills, which means it's gonna be full stacks onto the Sky Piercer as well. So that's gonna be a very bursty. That's not what we're gonna be seeing this time around, and a lot of pressure coming into the hands of Ito as well. He wasn't able to move all over the place because he is on sprint, and when the Lapu Lapu stuns him out and catch him, it's still a sure that for him as well. So I really like the itemization coming out from Mr. Aaron here because he's went for the Wind of Nature, but look at that though.
Wind of Nature to save him from all the final slashes and the heavy crossbows altogether, right? That's why his survivability is quite high, because aside from Kimi, all of them are all physical damage. So it helps him quite a lot. But IGN getting the upper hand out there solely because of their frontliners and a massive damage poked out by Aaron the Creator, which is not looking good for them. The only one which can burst Aaron is the Hayabusa, but he's the one bursting the Hayabusa down. It's not looking great for Armageddon, but still the Lord in the inhibitor pops out a purple carpet this time in the hands of Medio, and then revitalize, but they were not able to pop out the inhibitor, which is a good sign for Team Armageddon at the time.
Yeah, this is a very, safe place for them to play again. But still, IZN are all in the lead. They can just try to play for Aaron the Creator and they are all set. Because when you have a Granger onto your team, you just want to go for the flank. You don't have to do anything. Just try to be the bloody blocker for every damage coming through for him, and play for him. And that is gonna be the winning condition for the side of IZN, and they are actually able to do that most of the time. There's a damage circle that Josen onto the highlights was able to stand out all of that, but look at that though.
Yeah, Medio dangerously up front. I would say a burst and an AOT popping out right in the back line. Medio gets a shutdown out there. Fame, he escapes, but oh, Respect risking his life going for Fame. He does get it, but another lantern flare, which in danger in the hands of Ito with his heavy crossbow dealing massive damage, but a legendary for Aaron the Creator once again. Though, and very low gets a triple, gives the triple on so might be going for a maniac, but Aaron is the only one remaining. Win of nature in a clutch. And Musa bursted him down, successfully giving him a shutdown and a full team wipeout. That is completely an overturn of events out there.
Man, that was what was that for Armageddon as well as Izzy, and they were able to find all the kills all across the board, and they were trying to get everything that they could, and they were grabbing everything, and a full wipeout that's gonna be absolutely necessary. And now the lore is already up, and both of the teams they're gonna be very very ready to try to go for it.
Yep. Oh, respect. He just got bursted on before he could even go near the Lord. But bad news for IGN, good news for Armageddon, right? They were a bit impatient with that Lord fight, but overall they can still stay low, wait for the Lord to come, because one mistake here, which means they're gonna be losing the whole game. They actually gave the lead to Armageddon in that like 10-minute mark, right?
Mhm. The Lord will be marching down onto the mid lane here. Both of the teams they are just trying to get free, but Josen stunned out.
Stunned out, caught up, but he still gets away with his glorious pathway altogether. But respect caught him in between once again, not a good sign for him. And another win of nature from Ito out there, but IGN, they are all over the place. Salty Qual might be in danger with the hands of Aaron the Creator with all his bullets all together, but a 2-for-1 trade coming in once again. Armageddon growing restless by every minute, but IGN still standing strong.
We're almost going to the 50 minutes of this game, and I'm definitely looking forward to Ito trying to get out the damage done. But it's actually Josie who got a lot of damage and able to get out the pickups onto the backline most of the time, and this is absolutely gonna be worth it for the side of Armageddon. And a little bit of a comeback that they have making right now, because they were only inhibitors down, and IGN were able to have their outer inhibitor standing. But this time around, it's gonna be very very tricky because they are head to head. Blade armor already into the hands of Lapu Lapu Mirio, trying to stun out, trying to give out any kind of damage that Ryota as well as Ito is going to be dealing on him as well. But Skype is into the hands of the Kimi, which is a must item for her. It's definitely into the hands of Ryota again, but he does not have the required kills. Full builds already for Josie. Meanwhile, Respect struggling just a little bit to try to get onto the walls that he required, because he's not gonna be dealing that much of the damage that the Hayabusa can do. So that's gonna be a little bit tricky to try to go for the team fights as well. And moreover, Josie does have the Mythic Blade, the Rose Gold Meteor, so he will be able to withstand any kind of damage when push comes to shove, and the dives are made and the ambushes are done. So this is an equal kind of goal right now, and it's not gonna be mattering anymore because the lore is gonna be the most important factor as of now.
Yeah, certainly the most important factor for either of the team to secure, because it would help them with overturning the whole situation, because I feel like both the teams, they are quite scattered around the map with equal map control, but it can change any time. And I just saw Respect getting his retribution baited out, which is quite
Yeah.
a big move from the side of Team Armageddon, which means they can easily go for the Lord. But then again, IGN, they won't be allowing them to start the Lord, knowing that they do not have the retribution ready. But overall, hovering around the Lord pit is something both the teams are going to be doing as of now.
Yeah, for IGN, they sure definitely have to wait for the retribution cooldown to be up so as to try to contest it as well. But Armageddon right now, they do have a better setup, but then the problem is this Lapu Lapu has been causing havoc onto the backlines most of the time, and I don't think they will be able to fight if the Lapu goes in, so they have to force one at that, but the zoning coming to, one resource is baited out.
Once again, wonderful
Oh.
it out. Ryota takes the Lord, none of the junglers, but the mage out there for the side of Team Armageddon. But yes, overall, again, both the teams all over the place, which is making it hard to follow up. But if we do see, that is two people down for the side of Team Armageddon, while one down for the side of Team IGN with Lord marching in, which means Armageddon, they can't really do anything with that Lord, which is a wasted opportunity for them to end the game. But overall, IGN still holding out till the late game. If I have to say, waiting for Aaron to get more stacks so that he can just hit everyone with his bullets all together. But then again, there's an Irithel. Still, though, I don't think she is much of a threat to the Granger because of the front lines.
Yeah, that's what you do when you have a lot of front lines as well. And full builds already for the Irisel, for Ito as well as around the crater. In fact, he's sold out the bullets. He's getting the rose gold meteor because he knows that he's gonna be the sole carry of this team in the team fights. But most of the time, the joining coming out from the Lapu Lapu meteor is also very very well worth it. But look at that though.
Yep, if we do see, right, another carpet laid out by Hylos all together, while Solta Paul is stuck in between with
Ooh.
a Shadow Kill popped out and a Wind wasted, which is exchanged with the Immortality, which is a good move coming in from Aaron the Creator, which will help him with more survivability rate. Now IGN, they might looking to push a bit more because they can, because the minions are coming in onto their side as of now. But still, Armageddon, their highlight should have been Irithel, but she has been, falling back a bit too much because of the high loss altogether and the Lapu Lapu. She can't really dive inside, and for marksman, Irithel is quite tricky. But he does have a lot of movement speed though. But yeah, overall, the teams, they're just waiting for a lot of mistakes to happen. Once again, Ovi Shadow Kill bursted out by Result together. Aaron the Creator in the mark for Ito pops out. The Immortality as well gets taken down in the hands of Zushin. And a Revitalize popped out. While on the backline, Respect gets the final sweep, gets taken down. While Fame is out here trying his best to get away as Kai Pierce's stack comes in. But he does get away with the help of Immortality. Soltak Ball has to get back, which means both the teams, they are now ready for this enhanced Lord to come in.
And that was a lot of help coming out from IGN here, trying to protect their marksman as much as possible because he was dealing all the damages, and Armageddon, they couldn't get through those great wall of China. Yeah, man, that was that was a lot of HPs into the front line, especially the Hylos, especially Chosen, and of course Meteor as well. Even Respect was there, not Respect, but look at that though.
Yeah, once again, right before the Lord that is coming in. Final sweep with the AOG to get back away, and Arla loses his life, which gives Team IGN the opportunity to take the Lord in their hands. I don't know, it's not looking good but a Winter Crown popped out by but is Josie trying to go for the Lord with his sneaky clutch? Yep, definitely trying to, but will he be able to? No, he does not. Aaron takes the Lord in his hands with both the junglers, losing it once again. What's with the junglers and the red trees all together, red tree gap. But yeah, overall, the Immortality from Zosie gets turned out, gets taken out in the hands of Respect right after his death once again in the hands of Ito, which leaves IGN with a 4 versus 2.
Nah, man. This is, I mean, Josie and Respect we are talking about, right? They do not have the best retribution. In fact, their teammates are the one actually taking out onto the floor, onto those as well. Because of course, I don't know, because there has to be something different with the retribution button. But look at that, the enhanced lot already marching out onto bot lane.
Yeah, certainly announced Lord. Once again, a carpet laid out by Hylos. Meteor gets taken out in hands of Ryota, followed up by Sultan Fall, which is gonna be the Arlot. Ito not surviving the chance, and oh, the Lord very close to the base. And,
No.
1-1 for both the teams, which means we are gonna be moving into a third match.
Third match it is. We're gonna be seeing the third match, guys. It's always like this for Megaton and IGN, man. They always play 3 games, so this is gonna be the decider game for the quarterfinals, and of course the Lapu Lapu was amazing. I would say whoever gets Lapu Lapu wins, man. I'm a Lapu Lapu fanatic. So what do you think, Shinryu?
I cannot more disagree. But hey, the retribution this time. I did mention the jungle gap last time. It did come through. I am not making the prediction, guys. It just happened. It's just it's just like a predict. It's just a
It's
coincidence.
true.
Don't worry. It's a coincidence, guys. Yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
this time around, like you mentioned, I think the Lapu Lapu along with the Grandeur is a really strong pick. One can go in, the other can give damage from the back line, right? A really good synergy that these two heroes currently are going on with. It's like the old Farsa as well as the Grandeur combo, right? Something they need somebody to just lower their HP or just go for the front lining, and the rest can be just dealt from the behind. But this time again, IGN actually they had the lead in the mid. They just kind of throw it. They almost got a wipe out on their side,
Yeah.
but then again they did somehow won the last lord, which just kind of ended the game, right? And 1-1 score this time. Okay, we were asking for a comeback game from the side of Team IGN, and they finally are able to deliver to it. The Kryptonite this time actually was not so much of a weakness. Actually, it was kind of seen that the Kryptonite was harming them, but it was not so lethal. So Armageddon Esports, they kind of just kind of tremble a little bit with the drafts being changed. I think the Arlord did not work so well, despite having a tanky build. I saw the Arlord actually being taken down pretty easily with the Zushin. I think it was pretty difficult to uh, actually go in and just continuously deal your CC based damage along with the final slash as well as the slashes, right? The rest of the skill that actually follows through, and even the Garud Kachak actually was just getting popped, displaced time and again. So overall, I think the Zushin pick was definitely making sense for the side of Team IG, and despite not being so much into the meta, the Zushin actually worked really good for the side of Team IG this time. And I think the draft change definitely helped them. Rather than sticking to their comfort, they actually just I would say even the current meta is kind of around their comfort, and this time you can see 14 kills onto Haron the creator, and that's a statement itself, isn't it, Zevo? Isn't it, Debbie?
Yep,
you
yep,
know.
certainly. Never give Aaron his Granger.
Yeah.
That is something that we have been saying for I don't know the past year or every time we've done for Team IGN. But yeah, it's just his comfort pick too much. So even if he gets his counter as his opponent, he just goes around because he's just too comfortable. He knows the mechanics and everything. So just I mean, see, 1419 KDA with enough gold to even swap out the Wind of Nature, the Immortality, and the Rose Gold altogether. What else do you need to say about it, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel this time, you guys also talked about in the game that Ito was not really able to go in much and deal the damage because of